So our next thing to look into is the bank statements and bank errors, because that is a common one that does pop up quite a bit. And it's one of the most time-consuming things is fixing errors to the bank feeds and the bank reconciliations. So we recommend that your bank balance is checked on a regular basis. Yes, for the majority, you have a direct bank feed. So you would hope, with all good will and intention, that that bank works. However, there are the odd occasion when things go wrong. The bank feeds can be duplicated. They can miss lines. It does happen from time to time. So what we always recommend, every now and again, doesn't have to be every day, but maybe once a month, once a quarter, you check that this statement balance here agrees to your actual bank statement that you get. If that doesn't agree, something has gone wrong. If you're checking it regularly, the less checks you'll need to do. But always come in here, as I say, on a quarterly basis, check this figure out. If it's wrong, I'll now talk you through some of the ways that we can solve the issues. So you've spotted something's wrong. The first point of place to go is your bank statements tab. So that's going on to the reconcile items, choosing the bank statements tab there. And what you'll see should be an exact replica of your bank statement. This bank statement balance going down here should exactly match your bank statement. What we say is, if you haven't done the check in a while, then what you can do is select the end of each month, perhaps, or the start of each month, until you find where the balance is different, so we can then track down where the issues lie, and obviously work your way through until you can work out where the balance goes wrong. So there's normally the two main reasons for errors or things are a duplicated bank line. So the bank picks up the same expense line twice, you allocate them both, therefore the balance gets thrown out, or it misses a line and it's just not appearing there at all. So we'll look at both of those and how we deal with those. And we're going to start with duplicated lines. So you've come in here into the bank statements and you've seen a duplicated line. So if we go back a page, as an example, 1st of March, sorry, you've got Honey Barrett Limited, you've got Honey Barrett, 2 payments, both £100. One of those isn't correct, one of them's a duplication. And you can see it appearing on the 1st of April, etc., etc. Now, if the lines haven't been reconciled, i.e. they're still sitting in your reconcile tab, and here you can see we've got 2 1st of June Honey Barretts. Only one of those is correct, so one's a duplication. You haven't reconciled them. The simple process, just go to your options tab and click on delete statement line. It will come up with, are you sure you want to delete the statement line? Simply click yes. That has removed that statement line. Now, if it works out at a later date that you weren't supposed to delete that statement line and there was actually 2 payments to Honey Barrett, we can always bring that back through the bank statements tab. If the transaction has been reconciled, i.e. you posted both the £100 like you saw on the 1st of March and the 1st of April, So 1st of May, you can see there's that duplication there. Then firstly, you need to remove one. And then before you can delete the statement line. So what you would do is you go to the account transactions tab. Because it's already been reconciled, it won't be there in the reconcile icon anymore. It will all be in the account transactions tab. Use the search function over here to reduce down the number of transactions. Again, using the supplier, using the amount, which is what I'm going to use, and clicking on search. So here are those transactions. And all we're going to simply do, we're going to pick one of the Honey Barretts, which has been coded straight to accountancy. So what's happened here is the bank fee duplicated. You accidentally posted one straight to accountancy. You posted one to overpayment. So we're going to remove the one that's gone to accountancy as that's incorrect. You simply click on the tick on the little box on the left-hand side there, remove and redo. It will come up with a warning. Do you want to permanently remove this transaction? Yes. Back in the reconcile box, you've now got that transaction sitting back in the reconcile screen, and you'll follow the same process as before. Click on options, click on the statement line. Click on yes, and that's the removal of the duplications. Okay, so that's if you have a duplication. The other common issue is where you have a missing statement line. So you've run through your bank statements, they don't match, but it's because a date range has disappeared. So there's a couple of reasons why that could happen. One, you have accidentally deleted a statement line that you shouldn't have done because you thought it was a duplication, or the bank fee didn't work in the first place and we have to bring in those transactions. So firstly, if you have a line that you've accidentally deleted, so we're going to take the example here, there was 2 payments to O Greenville. You've assumed one was incorrect, so you deleted the line, but actually he did have 2 payments. So all you need to do is reinstate that line back into the reconciliation screen. What you need to do, go to the left-hand side, tick the transaction that actually needs to come back, and then at the very top, you've got a restore button. Simply click on restore, and that's brought that transaction back into your reconcile screen, and it's back to be reconciled. So that's if it's just a single transaction that you have deleted. If it's a case of you're missing a date range of transactions, then the best way to deal with that is to CSV import the date, the transaction range back in. And so some of you may already do this. If you haven't got a bank feed, you may be CSV importing your bank statements in already. So you'll be used to this process. For those that do have and hopefully you do have the bank feeds working, then this is the way you would import. So from the reconcile screen again, manage account, import a statement, and it will ask you to download a CSV template. You can download the CSV template. And what I'll do is I'm just going to switch, stop sharing that screen, and I'll share that screen. So hopefully what you can see now, and Natalie, you'll have to shout if you can't see it, is the CSV template is literally this top line here on Excel. And that allows you to input the data of the missing gaps. Once you have that information and you filled that information in, you simply sorry, jumping around a bit, I do apologize. So once you filled in that information there, you would simply save it somewhere where you can find it, click on browse, and then upload that file. Unfortunately, the computer I'm working from at the moment doesn't have Excel access on this particular part, which is why I'm jumping between a couple of screens, and so I can't download the file, but it would be a simple case of selecting the file, clicking import, and the file would then download. So then the third option you've got is manually creating transactions. So again, you've gone through your bank reconciliation. You found that you're missing some lines. So now what you want to do is manually enter those lines. So what you would normally do, you're in the account transactions reconcile screen again. You're going to manage account and you're going to spend or receive money. Now there's another way of going in through this. If you're in the account transactions tab, you simply click on new transaction. This will take you to the screen where you can change between the spend money and the receive money. And you're simply putting in a transaction here. So I'll just check the example. So we've got a missed-supplier payment. So literally filling in the basic expense details of what that missing line was and clicking on Save Transaction. Now what that has done is that's brought in the £120 that was missing off your statement line, but now you've got to manually mark it as reconciled because you're not allocating it through the reconcile screen as previous. So you're now in the account transactions. There's that £120. You know it's been reconciled. You know it's gone through the bank statement. So in order to get the bank statement balance to match, you need to manually mark this as reconciled. In order to do that, the first thing you've got to do is enable mark as reconciled. To do that, up to the question mark over here, the help screen. And this is a very useful area actually. So if you ever have any queries, obviously Xero support at Honey Barrett will be your first call, but should you want to search and look into things, putting anything, discussion topic in here of what you're looking for, and that'll take you off to Xero Central, where you can get further help. So you've always got our email address. But at the bottom of this section here, there's a little tab here, Enable Mark as Reconciled, and you simply switch it on. Once you switch it on, what you'll notice over here is all of a sudden you get a More tab. And all you simply do, select the entry that you know has actually gone through the bank statement but is not showing as reconciled. click on more, and you've got the ability to mark as reconciled. It will come up with a warning to say, are you sure? It's not recommended to manually mark them as reconciled, but in this instance, you don't have much of a choice. Mark as reconciled. And what you'll see is that would change this bank statement balance, because you're now saying that £100 has gone through. That's quite a lot on the bank errors and the bank transactions. Is there any questions on any of that? Hopefully you found some of that useful. The bank reconciliation issues are generally one of the bigger topics we have in terms of where there's a difference and how to find them.